walked into 5 different car dealerships over 3 weeks, and every single one of them tried to scam me. I recorded everything, and today I'm showing you exactly what they did, word for word, so it never happens to you. Here's what's actually going on out there in 2025. Americans were on track to file nearly 90,000 complaints with the Federal Trade Commission about auto dealer practices. That's not a few bad apples, that's a system. And over the next 10 minutes, I'm breaking down 5 specific scams that I personally witnessed at 5 different dealerships across 3 weeks. These aren't rumors, these aren't theories. It's what actually happened when I walked in, acting like a normal buyer. And if I can catch 5 dealers running these exact same scams in 3 weeks, this is happening everywhere, and it's probably happening to someone you know right now. Let's start with scam number 1, the 4 square method. I walked into the first dealership on a Tuesday afternoon. Nice showroom, professional staff. The salesperson was friendly, asked me what I was looking for, and within 10 minutes, we were sitting at his desk talking numbers. That's when he pulled out the worksheet. A single piece of paper divided into 4 boxes. Top left, vehicle price. Top right, trade-in value. Bottom left, down payment. Bottom right, monthly payment. He smiled and said, "So, what kind of monthly payment are you comfortable with?" That question right there is the trap, because the 4 square method is designed to do one thing: shift your focus to the monthly payment while the dealer manipulates every other number to maximize their profit. Here's how it works. Let's say I told him I wanted to keep my payment around $450 a month. Sounds reasonable, right? He writes that number in the bottom right box. Then he starts filling in the other boxes. He inflates the vehicle price by $2,000 above market value. He lowballs my trade-in by $1,500, and he stretches the loan term from 60 months to 72 months. Now all 4 boxes are filled in, and guess what? My monthly payment is exactly $450. Just what I asked for, but I'm getting destroyed on the overall deal. The car costs more than it should. My trade-in is worth less than it actually is, and I'm paying interest for an extra year. On a $30,000 purchase, this tactic can cost you $3,000 to $5,000 without you ever realizing it, because your brain sees that monthly payment you wanted and thinks you got a good deal. The dealership I was at tried this exact play. They quoted me $435 a month on a used SUV. I asked them to break down the numbers. The vehicle price was $22,500. Kelley Blue Book had the same model selling for $19,900 in my area. That's a $2,600 markup. My trade-in offer was $7,500. CarMax had offered me $9,200 for the same car 2 days earlier. That's a $1,700 gap. The loan term, 84 months, 7 years on a used car. I pointed this out. The salesperson got uncomfortable. Suddenly, the numbers started changing. The price dropped. The trade-in value went up. The loan term came down to 60 months. And you know what the monthly payment became? $520, because that $435 was never real. It only worked when they controlled all the other variables. Here's your move. Never answer the monthly payment question, ever. Instead, negotiate 3 things separately in this exact order. First, negotiate the out-the-door price of the vehicle. Get that locked in writing. Second, handle your trade-in as a completely separate transaction. Get their offer in writing and compare it to what CarMax or another dealer will give you. Third, bring your own financing. Get pre-approved through your bank or credit union before you ever walk in. When you separate these 3 pieces, the 4 square dies. The dealer can't shuffle numbers between boxers when the boxers don't exist. Scam number 2, yo-yo financing. Second dealership. This one happened in the finance office. I had negotiated the price, agreed on the numbers, and the finance manager brought out the paperwork. Everything looked fine. Interest rate was reasonable. Down payment was what we discussed. He slid the papers across the desk and said, "Sign here, here, and here. Congratulations, the car is yours. You can take it home today." I asked him, "Is the financing fully approved?" He hesitated. Then he said, "Well, we're processing it with the lender, but based on your credit, I'm confident it'll go through. You can take delivery now, and we'll finalize everything in the next day or 2. That right there is yo-yo financing, also called spot delivery, and it is one of the most predatory scams in the car business. Here's how it works. The dealer lets you take the car home before your financing is 100% approved by the actual lender. You drive off happy. You tell your family, you post photos on social media, maybe even trade in or sell your old car. Then, 3 to 7 days later, you get a call. The dealership says, "Hey, bad news, the bank didn't approve your loan. At the rate we quoted, you need to come back in and sign a new contract with a higher interest rate, a bigger down payment, or both. If you refuse, they tell you to return the car immediately or they'll report it stolen." According to the Federal Trade Commission, this scam is illegal, but it still happens constantly, because by the time the dealer calls you back, you are emotionally and logistically invested in that car. Returning it feels impossible. So most people just sign the new deal, even though it costs them thousands more. Let me show you the numbers. A buyer thinks they locked in 6% APR on a $30,000 loan for 60 months. Dealer calls back 3 days later and says the bank denied it. Now, it's 8.5%. That's an extra $2,400 in interest over the life of the loan. And the buyer often has no choice but to accept it, because they've already gotten rid of their previous car. I told the finance manager at this dealership, "I'm not taking delivery until the financing is 100% approved in writing by the lender with my name, the VANG, the rate, and the term all confirmed." He tried to convince me it wasn't necessary. I didn't move. 20 minutes later, he came back and said the approval would take another day. I walked out. Never heard from them again And here's your move. Never drive off the lot until the financing is fully approved in writing by the actual lender, not the dealer. If they pressure you to take delivery before final approval, that is your red flag. Walk away. A legitimate dealership will wait for full approval. A shady one will push you to take the car now and deal with the details later. Don't fall for it. Scam number 3. Bait and switch advertising. Third dealership. I saw an ad online for a used sedan. Great price. $18,995. Low mileage. Clean title. I called the dealership. I asked if the car was still available. The person on the phone said yes, absolutely. Come on in. I drove 40 minutes to get there. I walked in and asked to see the car from the ad. The salesperson's face changed. He said, "Oh man, I'm really sorry, but that one actually sold this morning. We just haven't updated the website yet, but I've got something even better I can show you." That is bait and switch. It's one of the oldest scams in retail, and it is rampant in car sales. The dealer advertises a car at a fantastic too good to be true price to get you in the door. Once you're there, you're told that car is already sold, and then they try to sell you a more expensive vehicle. The goal is simple: get you physically on the lot, because once you're there, you've already invested time and energy. Betting you'll just buy something else rather than leave empty-handed. There's also a subtle version of this scam. The dealer runs an ad showing a fully loaded model, leather seats, premium sound system, navigation, sunroof, but the price listed is for the base model with none of those features. You show up excited about the car in the photo and then find out it costs $4,000 or $5,000 more than the advertised price. Technically, the ad isn't lying, but it's absolutely designed to mislead you. And at this dealership, the salesperson tried to show me a different car, similar make and model, but it was listed at $22,500, $3,600 more than the ad. I asked why. He said the one in the ad was a lower trim with higher mileage. Same trim, same mileage, different VAN. He backtracked, said maybe he was looking at the wrong listing. Then he offered to check if the original car was still in the system. 10 minutes later, he came back. But now it was listed at $20,200, $1,500 more than the AD. He said there had been a pricing error. I left. Here's your move. Screenshot the ad. When you call, get the salesperson's name and ask them to confirm that specific vehicle. That specific VHN at that specific price is available and that they will hold it for you. If they won't confirm it or put anything in writing, don't waste your time driving there. And if you do show up and they pull the bait and switch, leave immediately. Don't let them pivot you to another car. That's exactly what they want. Scam number 4. Hidden junk fees and ad-ons. Fourth dealership. I made it all the way to the finance office. We had agreed on a price. For a used truck. My trade-in was valued at $8,000. Down payment was $3,000. Loan amount should have been $14,800 plus taxes and registration. Simple math. The finance manager printed out the final contract and slid it across the desk. I looked at the total amount, financed $18,300. I stopped. I said, wait, that's $3,500 more than it should be. Where did that come from? He pointed to a section buried in the middle of the contract. VIN, etching, $395. Fabric protection, $295. Paint sealant, $395. Extended service contract, $1,295. Documentation fee, $399. I asked him what these were. He said they were standard add-ons that come with every vehicle. I told him I didn't want any of them. He said some of them were already installed, so they couldn't be removed. Said he'd have to check with his manager. This is how junk fees work. They just add them to the total and present it as the final price. And most buyers, exhausted from hours of negotiation, just sign without reviewing every line. Let me break down why these fees are a scam. VIN, etching. This is when they engrave your vehicle identification number onto the windows to deter theft. Sounds useful, right? The dealer charges you 300 to 400% fabric protection. This is a spray they apply to the seats to resist stains. You can buy the exact same product at Walmart for $12. About $5 cost to you. They vacuum it, they fill the gas tank. That's it. To do this as part of the vehicle delivery process, so in most cases, you are literally being charged twice for the same service. The documentation fee is another one. This is the fee the dealer charges to process the paperwork for your sale. Some states cap this fee. California, for example, caps it at $85 for dealers with DMV agreements and $70 for others as of 2025. Anything beyond that is illegal, but dealers in states without caps will charge $300, $400, even $500 for documentation. It's pure profit. At this dealership, I crossed out every single add-on I didn't agree to. The finance manager said he couldn't remove them. I asked him to show me where in the law it says these fees are required. He couldn't. I told him I wasn't signing until those items were removed. He left the room, came back 15 minutes later. With the new contract, all the add-ons were gone, except the documentation fee. Total amount financed dropped to $15,400. I had just saved myself $2,900 by reading the contract and pushing back. Here's your move. Demand an itemized breakdown of every single fee before you sign anything. Go through each line and ask what it is, why it's there, and whether it's optional. If the finance manager says a fee is required, ask them to show you the law that requires it. 90% of junk fees are optional. The dealer is just betting you won't question them. question them. Cross out anything you didn't explicitly agree to. If they refuse to remove it, walk out. You have that power. Scam number 5. Interest rate markup, also known as dealer reserve. 5th dealership. Final scam, and this is the one most people never catch because it's invisible. I sat down in the finance office. The manager ran my credit. He came back and said, "Good news, you're approved. Your interest rate is 7.25%. I already knew my credit score. I had gotten pre-approved through my credit union 2 days earlier at 5.75%, so I knew something was off. I asked him what rate did the bank approve me at. He hesitated. Then he said, "Well, the rate varies depending on the term and the loan structure, but 7.25 is what we're offering." I pressed him. I said, "No, I'm asking what rate the lender approved me at before you marked it up." He didn't answer directly. Instead, he said, "We work with multiple lenders to get you the best rate possible." Here's what was actually happening. Dealer reserve. When you finance a car through a dealership, the dealership is not the lender. They're the middleman. A bank or credit union approves your loan at a certain interest rate. Let's call that the buy rate. Then the dealer marks that rate up by 1 to 2.5 percentage points and quotes you the higher rate. You think that's the rate you qualified for? But it's not. The dealer is pocketing the difference as profit on every single payment you make for the life of the loan. Let me show you what this costs. Let's say you're borrowing $30,000. The bank approved you at 5.9%. The dealer quotes you 7.25%. That's a 1.35% markup over 60 months. That extra 1.35% costs you an extra $1,100 in interest. The dealer keeps that as commission, and you never know what happened unless you have your own financing to compare it against. According to research from multiple consumer protection sources, this practice is widespread. Dealers are not legally required to disclose the markup. They don't have to tell you what the lender actually approved you at. So unless you walk in with a pre-approved rate from your own bank or credit union, you have no way of knowing whether the rate they're quoting you is legitimate or inflated. At this dealership, I told the finance manager I had already been pre-approved at 5.75%. I asked him if he could beat it. Suddenly, the rate dropped. He said he could match 5.75, not beat it, just match it, which told me the buy rate was probably even lower than that, and he was still trying to mark it up. Slightly easier move. Get pre-approved for an auto loan before you ever step foot in a dealership. Go to your bank, go to your credit union, get a rate in writing with your name on it. Then, when you sit down in the finance office and the dealer quotes you a rate, you have a baseline to compare it against. Ask him directly, can you beat this rate or not? Most of the time, if your pre-approved rate is competitive, they'll either match it or admit they can't beat it. Either way, you just saved yourself from paying a marked up rate for 5 or 6 years. So let's recap what just happened. 5 dealerships, 3 weeks, 5 scams. The Foursquare method to manipulate the overall costs while focusing you on monthly payments. Yo-yo, financing to trap you into worse loan terms after you've already taken the car home. Bait and switch, advertising to get you in the door with a car that doesn't actually exist at that price. Hidden junk fees to inflate the final cost by thousands without your knowledge. An interest rate markup to skim profit off every loan payment you make. Every single dealership I visited tried at least one of these. Some tried multiple. That's not a coincidence. That's a business model. But here's what you need to do before you ever start shopping. 3 steps. Step 1. Get pre-approved for financing through your bank or credit union before you go anywhere. Walk into the dealership with a rate in writing. This kills the interest rate markup scam and gives you leverage. In the finance office. Step 2. Research the vehicle's true market value using Kelley Blue Book, Edmunds, and CarGurus. Know what the car is actually selling for in your area, not what the dealer is asking for it. This kills the Foursquare method and the bait and switch. Step 3. Check your credit score at annualcreditreport.com so you know exactly where you stand. The dealer can't lie to you about your credit if you already know your score. Bonus step. Bring a friend or family member who is not emotionally attached to the car. They will catch red flags you miss because they're not clouded by excitement. Now, let me give you the big picture here. Auto lenders faced $9.2 billion in fraud risk in 2024 alone. That's a 16% increase from the year before. These scams are not isolated incidents. They are systematic practices happening at dealerships across the entire country every single day. 5 dealerships, 3 weeks, 5 scams. Every single one of them tried it, but now you know exactly what to look for. You know exactly what to say when they try it, and you're not walking into that showroom blind anymore. Here's what I want you to do right now. Hit that subscribe button, because every single week I am exposing the real cost of car ownership in America with 0 dealership bias and 0 manufacturer sponsorships. Just facts that save you money. Drop a comment below and tell me if any of these scams have happened to you. I read every single comment on this channel and I will respond. And if you know someone who is shopping for a car right now, a friend, a family member, a coworker, send them this video before they sign anything. Everything they need to know is right here. The next video you need to watch breaks down the exact cars that dealers are desperate to move in 2025 and how to use that desperation to get a genuinely great deal. You've learned how to defend yourself. Now let me show you how to win. I'll see you in the next one.